back to our series discussing the Brahms opus 122 chorale preludes. In this series we're discussing the music itself and not the instruments. We're not focusing at all on the organs as such. But today I'm going to make an exception because today we're in Neustrelitz in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern in northeastern Germany, and we're using a organ from exactly the same time, within a year or two, of Brahms composing his chorale preludes. That is to say, the organ was built in 1893, just a couple of years before, and it was the largest and really most significant of the late Romantic organs in North Germany. So a very important instrument, and one which is absolutely ideal for playing Brahms on. And it represents the latest word in technology, absolutely the most advanced kind of instrument that would have been around at this period, at the very end of Brahms's life, when these compositions were being written. So really we can call it the ideal organ to play these works on. It's not an instrument that Brahms, so far as we know, ever saw or played, although it's only 200 kilometers from where Brahms grew up and only 100 kilometers south of Rügen, where he liked to go on holiday. But even so, there's no reason to assume that he ever came here. But nonetheless, this is the ultimate organ from Brahms's time. The end of Brahms's life, that is to say. I'm going on about this at such length because we have this tendency to divide organs into Baroque organs, perhaps North German, Mid-German, and Italian and French Baroque organs, if we're being specific about it, and Romantic organs, by which we tend to mean the big Romantic cathedral-type organs of the early 20th century, the kind of things you'd play Reger or Kargelet on, the sort of thing we associate with the big Romantic cathedral organ. And we forget that there is something in between the two. There is the German Romantic organ. The whole period, really, from Mendelssohn up to Brahms, up to the end of the 19th century, gets completely forgotten, that there is a type of organ which belongs neither to the Baroque nor to this early 20th century tradition. I know this because I've taught courses in organ design and organ history at the university, and certainly the materials that were available, and indeed I'm ashamed to say my own teaching has tended to skim rather over this whole period from the 1830s up to the 1890s in terms of the special kinds of organs which were around then. Okay, I promise that's the end of that long rant. We'll move on to the piece itself. It's laid out in 3 manuals, decreasing in volume from F to P to PP. As always, I think we shouldn't read too much into those dynamics as specific indications of stops, but they are relative terms. So louder and moderately quiet and quiet. So the design of the piece is very simple indeed. The forte sections, which are accompanied by the pedals, play the chorale one line at a time. The last couple of notes of each phrase are echoed then by the quieter manual, and then there is a little figuration in the quietist manual just to bring us back to the next line. Maybe this progression from F to P to PP is designed to emulate in some way the text of the hymn, which is a prayer commending the soul into God's hands. So there is a sense of motion there in the text.